Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate you yielding us this time as we have our bipartisan hour to really honor law enforcement officers all across America, talk about our Back the Blue. And this evening, as we begin, I'm joined by so many of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle who truly do support our law enforcement community, and we're here to celebrate their lives and also honor the deaths of many of these officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Madam Speaker, as a career law enforcement officer, I know what our officers go through every day when they put on their uniforms, say goodbye to their families, and head out to do the important work of protecting their communities. They step into that breach between the good citizens that we're sworn to protect and that criminal element out there that would do them harm. Unfortunately, over the last few years, we've seen an uptick in violence specifically directed at law enforcement officers, especially in the form of ambush-style attacks. These violent attacks have been fueled by anti-police rhetoric, which has left our officers demoralized and delegitimized. In fact, according to the National Fraternal Order of Police, just this year, just in 23 so far, 135 officers have been shot, 15 of those killed by that gunfire. The number of officers shot in the line of duty is up 52% from this time 3 years ago. Madam Speaker, there have been 38 ambush-style attacks on police officers. 38. In these attacks, 43 police officers have been shot. This country cannot tolerate this violence. We must respond with action to prevent further attacks against our police officers. And I am grateful to my bipartisan colleagues who join me on this floor this evening to send a message that we have the backs of those officers who serve our communities. This Congress, I am proud to have reintroduced 3 bipartisan bills to further support our law enforcement officers. The Invest to Protect Act, which will make critical investments in small police departments with fewer than 200 officers to help them with recruitment, with their retention, mental health support for their officers, and officer training. Also, the Protect and Serve Act, which creates enhanced federal penalties for individuals who deliberately target law enforcement officers in the line of duty. You target the police, Congress is going to target you. And then finally, the Helper Act, which will help our law enforcement officers and other first responders buy homes within the community that they serve. I'm going to continue to advocate for legislation that supports and equips our men and women in blue. And while we continue to work to support officers still on the job, we must also remember those who have laid down their lives in service to their communities. Last week, I had the honor of commemorating Florida's fallen officers, including 2 in my own district. Paul Matthew Patrick, an Atlantic Beach police officer whose watch ended on September 12th. He's a legacy. He died in 1932. Kobe Bryant Seckinger, the St. Johns County Sheriff's deputy whose watch ended on December 14th of 2020. Madam Speaker, it is vital that we never forget those who chose to walk out that door each day and face an unknown danger so that we don't have to. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The purpose of life is not to be happy. It's to be useful. It's to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well." This week, we remember their sacrifice and use it as an inspiration to better support law enforcement officers across this nation. I pray each of us across America would live the rest of our lives worthy of their sacrifice.